So hello and welcome. Welcome on this very beautiful Texas spring morning. Nice to have everybody here. Thank you. My name is Rodney Cox, and I'm the Vice President of Operations here in Houston, and it's my privilege to celebrate with you and enjoy this morning with all of you today. On behalf of the more than 14,000 Houston employees, United employees here in Houston, and more than 90,000 employees worldwide, we welcome you to celebrate this great achievement with us today. Before the real fun begins momentarily, we want to recognize some very special guests that are here with us today. You're going to hear from some of them in a few moments, but I want to make sure that we recognize those that are here in attendance. So first of all, Mayor Sylvester Turner. Thank you, Mayor. All of our council members in attendance today, thank you. Our Houston Airport System Director of Aviation, Mario Diaz, and his leadership team. We also have members of the Federal Aviation Commission in the House today. We'd like to recognize Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. Thank you very much for joining us today. All of our leaders from the Technical Operations Division, Gavin Malloy and his leadership team from the Corporate Real Estate team, thank you for joining us, Gavin. And of course, all of our employees and all of you that are here today. All of you represent the very committed men and women, hardworking men and women who make this operation run every day and make sure that we run safely and dependably. And so I thank all of you. Your support means everything to this airline as we grow. Now, let's move on. I'd like to invite Don Wright, our United Vice President of Maintenance, to come up and say a few words about this amazing facility. Don?
Thank you, Rodney, and thank you, everyone. Look, before I kick off, I just want to say what an amazing backdrop we have here. As a maintenance guy, to have a new hangar with a new airplane in the hangar is just spectacular. So I think this is just a great setup by everyone. Look, I want to thank everyone that's joined us here today behind me, and to all of the folks that have been a part of this spectacular project to get us to where we are today. As Rodney thanked everyone, I want to also offer my thanks and say, projects like this don't just happen. They need a lot of support and a lot of effort from a lot of people. And the folks that are joining us here today are those folks that made it happen. I also want to take the opportunity and just recognize some of our United team members that have really been working this from the very beginning. First and foremost, I think Rodney Lutzen, our Managing Director. Rodney's over there, our Managing Director of Line Maintenance. The spectacular Bill Gilbert, who gave us our safety briefing. Rodney and Bill have a great operation to run here. A special shout out to Mark Waters. Mark's one of our shift managers here. Mark stepped into an operational project manager role for this facility and has just done a spectacular job. And also Benny King and the airframe maintenance team for their support and coordination throughout the whole project. It's been terrific. I have to say for Gavin and Gavin Malloy, our Vice President of CRE, and all of the CRE team, we just love what has happened here. And it's a great pleasure for me to be here to see this. I will say John Alvarez, who has been our person on point here, has done simply an outstanding job, and we appreciate his efforts very, very much. So, projects like this are pretty amazing. Projects like this are an opportunity for us to get out there and grow the airline. For United, we're going to continue to grow over the next few years without question. And projects like this allow us to create high quality, high paying, technical jobs in the industry, not just in Houston, but around the system for United. And these are critical to our success as we grow. When you look at this facility here, we're standing in this beautiful widebody hangar facility, 375,000 square feet of facility. I believe that's somewhere around 6 football fields. And that's just not the hangars here. That includes a new warehouse distribution center. It includes the spectacular technical services support building behind me, administrative areas, training areas, an engine build-up shop down the end of the facility here. This is something that's really cool for us and something that we needed to do. I believe there's 11 acres of pavement and apron out there. When you look at the run-up areas and all the areas out there, this whole environment is an excellent environment for maintaining our aircraft. It's an excellent work environment for United's men and women that maintain our aircraft around the clock to be in, particularly when you look at the things like the lighting and the reflective floor, etc. It really, really makes a difference. Now, we're not just investing in infrastructure and facilities. We are investing clearly in hangars, terminals, baggage systems here in Houston and around the system. But we're also investing in our most valuable asset, and that's our people. That's the United team. And when I look at, again, a facility like this is an investment in our people. In Tech Ops alone, just last year we wrapped up a very large, or phase one of a very large project of giving out more than 6,500 iPads to our line maintenance technicians around the globe. And as cool as that sounds, everyone likes an iPad, right? As cool as that sounds, what that does is it allows our maintenance teams to be able to break away from a desktop computer and be out on the aircraft that he or she are working on. It gives them real-time status of the aircraft and electronic logbook, manuals, up-to-date manuals, and the millions of pages of manuals that our people use every single day, and electronic task cards where they can step by step work through very complex inspections, which is important as we maintain such a modern fleet. But what it really does, I think, one of the biggest benefits is it gives us real-time information about the aircraft that we're involved in, not just the aircraft sitting here in the hangar, but for people here in IEH, it may be the aircraft that's taking off out of London or Rio de Janeiro or Sydney right now, where they have real-time information to be able to reach back and look at that aircraft. I look at that and just think, that is the sort of thing that makes a difference for us. It truly does. The $200 million that we invested in this facility is just a part of the $1 billion that we have invested in Houston since 2013. That's an incredible investment when you think of it. And when we look at that and we look at this is not the end of our growth. 2 months ago, I opened up a beautiful wide-body facility in Chicago ORD. A couple of months from now, I'll be in Tampa, Florida, opening up a beautiful multi-bay narrow-body facility. And then we are building something rather similar to this in Los Angeles, a LAX UTOC, which will be spectacular. And this is on, if anyone knows Los Angeles, on Century Boulevard, co-located near our terminals and our cargo area, and have everyone with United in the same area. And in addition to that, we're moving into and renovating a hangar complex in Portland, Oregon. This represents more than $500 million of investment in our maintenance infrastructure alone. It is really incredible when you think of it. It's already been stated by Bill, but I'm going to reiterate the fact that United Airlines, and in particular United Airlines operational teams and technical operations, we are absolutely built on a core foundation of safety. That is who we are. And when we're able to combine the digital technology that I talked about, the modern state-of-the-art facilities like this with the great fleet that United operates, I know we're not only prepared to meet the challenges of the future of aviation, I know we're going to exceed and we're going to be the #1 airline. Thank you. I would now like to invite the Mayor of Houston, Mayor Turner, up to say a few words. Mayor Turner is a great supporter of United here in Houston, and we're really, really proud to have him here with us today. Mayor Turner.
Thanks, Dan. Look, let me thank Rodney and Don and John and Mario here, who's here, and the Congresswoman has come in from D.C. to be with us this morning, and certainly to all of you. Let me just start off by saying congratulations to United Airlines. This is truly impressive. Let me put it that way. This is impressive. As we say in Houston, you go big or you go home. Well, hell, they went big. So it's a very large hangar. I was asking them, is there another hangar within their network that's bigger than this one here? I don't think there's one bigger where you can place these wide-body planes under one singular roof. Now, you may take different buildings and add them together, but this one is truly, truly impressive. And as I listened to Don, 375,000 square feet, which could, the equivalent of 6 football fields. That's, as one of my city council members would say, that's a big deal. And to be celebrating this new hangar with this new aircraft is just amazing. So I want to thank and congratulate United Airlines for its continuous investment right here in the city of Houston, and that's one reason why I wanted to be with you this morning. I'm convinced that there's nothing United can't do when it puts its mind to it. And first, you brought the Star Wars airplane to Houston, and now a hangar that can probably fit the Millennium Falcon. I do want to again to acknowledge and thank United Airlines Vice President Rodney Cox, Don Wright, John Watala, and the entire leadership team at United for continuing to invest in Houston and Bush Airport. And you have been doing it, as Don said, since 2013, more than a $1 billion investment in the city of Houston. And today, this new hangar, to me, symbolizes not just what United Airlines has done in the past, but its continued commitment to the city of Houston. And not just in dollars and cents, but also in terms of volunteerism as well from United employees. I do again want to acknowledge Congresswoman Sheila Jackson-Lee. She's been very, very supportive and helpful to this city. And please give it up again to Congresswoman Sheila Jackson-Lee. Thank you so very, very much. I want to acknowledge Mario Diaz, head of the Houston Airport System, for his work. He's done some incredible things, continue to do incredible things. Thank you as well, Mario Diaz. Please give it up to him. And this morning, the Chief Economic Development Officer for the City of Houston is here, Andy Eakin, who's also been working very closely on this project. Andy, thank you. Look, quality jobs are critical for Houstonians, and the United Technical Operations Center will not only provide hundreds of new jobs to our community, it will provide an ultra-modern, sophisticated, safe, and world-class workspace that will make everyone proud. And make no mistake, the work that will be performed here is extremely, extremely important. The United team will give millions of passengers a greater sense of comfort and reliability every single time they fly. And as Mayor of the City of Houston, I have a profound appreciation for that. And here's why. When our airports are top-notch and our airline partners are world-class, we will be able to attract more Fortune 500 companies to Houston that will in turn hire more of our brilliant and talented Houstonians, just like the 14,000 United employees that are currently living in the Houston area. And I'm very, very proud of each and every one. And we look forward to every day in growing that number in the city of Houston. And when United Airlines is making investments like what they are making here today, that simply means that the future between United and the city of Houston is one that will continue to be brighter. People's lives will be transformed and our economy will keep thriving when we are making investments like the one we're making today. And we know that air connectivity is a critical element to economic growth and development of our city. We are living in the most diverse city in the United States of America, right here in the city of Houston. I tell everyone, if you want to see where the United States is going 20 to 25 years from now, look right here at the city of Houston. People are not fleeing from the city of Houston. They are coming from the north, they're coming from the west and from the east, and they're coming right down south to our city. Last year, United contributed tens of millions of dollars to Houston's economy and connected more than 17 million passengers to the rest of the country and the world. And as we stand in this new technical operations center, let us be reminded that this is the city we want to be, a city that embraces partnerships, creates jobs, and sends our economy to new heights. And so, as much as I love LA and Chicago, New York, Philadelphia, Miami, there is no place like the city of Houston. And if you want to grow your business, you grow and invest right here in the city of Houston. And that way you'll take off and fly like you have never flown before. Thank you again, United. Appreciate the partnership and the collaboration. Looking forward to much more in the coming years. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Mayor, for those kind words. Thank you very much. Next, I'd like to ask John Wiedela, our Vice President of Technical Services, to come up and share a few words.
Thank you, Rodney. That's a tough act to follow, though, I got to tell you. My name is John Wiedela, the Vice President of Technical Services at United. Some like to refer to this position as the Chief Engineer. We've got a lot of groups, engineering, maintenance programs that fall within the group. And I'll tell you, as I stand here and I listen to the other speakers, there's certain moments in your life that you, of course, always remember. Remember the first moments I laid eyes on my two beautiful daughters. I remember the first time I drove a car. I also remember the first time I taxied in the flight deck of a 777 right over here and pulled into our new hangar years back. At the time, we had not taken a new aircraft for many years, and it was a moment that I'll always remember. I will tell you, this moment here right now is also a memory that I'll never forget. This is just a great moment and a great facility. At United, you'll hear us talk a lot about our core 4 values, those being safe, caring, dependable, and efficient. And this facility and what many of you have had a part in building and have done here touches every single one of those values. For a number of years, 21 years, the Technical Services Group, which is records, engineering, several of the departments within Technical Services, we were downtown at the Jefferson Building. And it worked okay. But you can only imagine that being co-located with our colleagues in maintenance and inspection, what value that's going to have to the organization. Just a few weeks ago, if you had an issue interpreting a drawing or with a repair or something of that nature, you would call downtown. We'd either get in a car or try and correspond either through pictures and emails. Now it's going to be just a matter of walking into the offices, or an engineer or a records person walking out and resolving it on the spot. And I think that is just going to be a tremendous value to the organization, and it is going to be another significant puzzle piece in making us the best airline that ever existed. So in terms of being in this location, I will tell you also, I started my career with the airline in Denver, and I moved to Houston, was here in Houston for 17 years. Initially, I shared an office with Margie Tillotson. I think she's somewhere out there in the audience. We shared a rotary dial phone for the millennials in the crowd. Either Google it or I'll explain to you what that is later. But we shared an office. The messages were, taken down paper, no computer. And if that John Wiedela could look at the offices that are here today, it is light years ahead. So I wanted to pile on a bit more with just thanking everybody from, Rodney Lutzen's leadership through this. These projects always seem pretty seamless when you get to this point. But getting to it there were, I'm sure, challenges and ebbs and flows all along the way. So for Don Wright and Ronnie, thanks for your leadership. Thanks for all of the, dignitaries and for your support. Thank you to the, our CRE colleagues for putting this together, all the way down to, thanks to to the technicians. I was lucky enough to be up here, and we had a luncheon and met some of the folks that do the installation on the HVAC systems. Just, there's so many people that I'd like to thank all the way up and down. And thank you for giving us a great home for tech services, for the 150 folks in tech services. It was the first time I got to see the completed facility yesterday. It's absolutely spectacular. So just thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving us a great home for a great facility. It'd be the Academy Awards where they put the stopwatch up to tell me to get the heck out. But there's just too many people to thank all up and down the chain for all the great work. You guys have absolutely built a spectacular facility. The last thing before I introduce the next speaker is I can feel the excitement, and when you give speeches like this, there's always how do people feel. I will tell you the overwhelming feeling in my heart is absolute jealousy. That I'm leaving. This is a great facility. I'm jealous that this is where you guys get to call home. I'm going to be visiting a lot more. I will tell you that. It's just a great facility. So thank you to everybody. Next up is the Houston Director of Airport Services, Mario Diaz, to say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you, John, and good morning, everyone. Before I launch into my prepared remarks, I want to take out a moment to recognize and thank Gavin Malloy and his team, Pranav, Chris, and the many others for the collaboration and the cooperation that we've had over the numerous years, growing United here in Houston. Over the past 10 years, we've worked on a number of projects. This is just a culmination of the most recent. And you would think that, as John has said, there's a lot that goes in advance of actually building something like this. As the planners are putting together the final concepts, we've got to sit down and we've got to say, where are we going to put this? How does it integrate into the fabric of the infrastructure for the airport? What projects, what things have to be moved? How are we going to finance it? And then, of course, there's always the paperwork. There's memorandum of agreement that have to be taken and leases that have to be taken by Gavin and his team to the board of directors of United. And of course, I need to take whatever agreements we reach to the mayor and the administration, ultimately to council. And that really takes time, it takes dedication. And so, Gavin, to you, I thank you very much. And it brings me back to why we're here this morning, and that is to say congratulations to United Airlines on this incredible achievement. I agree with our mayor. There is nothing United Airlines cannot do. As I begin this morning, I'm reminded of a concept that was shared by one of the greatest American industrialists, Henry Ford. He said about partnerships, coming together is a beginning. Staying together is progress, and working together is success. We are standing today a $162 million facility that spans 6 football fields is proof of what happens when partnership, it goes beyond coming together and staying together. This is what happens when we work together, and we work together collaboratively and together to put things forward, especially in a city that is growing as fast as is Houston. Aside from the new technical center, Operations United has invested nearly $1 billion in Bush Airport since 2013. Let me give you a couple of examples of that. Last year, we opened the new Terminal C North. It is an incredible terminal equipped with the latest technology, large and bright hold rooms, first-class restaurants and concessions, all of which have enhanced the customer experience for millions of travelers each and every year. Also last year, we broke ground on our new international terminal, which will make room for even more wide-body aircraft like the 787-9 Dreamliner behind us that this facility will be able to hold. United Airlines will invest more than $300 million in a new baggage handling system for that redevelopment. These sizable investments are the signal to the nation and to the world that Houston is getting stronger. Our airports connectivity is expanding and our economy is growing. And so our partnerships are that much more important. We will lead the way forward as we plan to meet the growing demand for domestic and international travel in the years to come. We are putting in place the infrastructure to make that happen. We are truly partners who are united. Congratulations once again for this amazing accomplishment. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And next we'd like to ask Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee to come up and say a few words.
Rodney, thank you so very much. The mayor and I are in the people business, and I can tell you that you are a sight for not only sore eyes, but joyful eyes. I want you all that are out here, just give yourselves a hand. All the employees, our union members who are out there, our administrators, Mario's team, you can do better than that. You deserve a big applause than that. Wow, what an array of outstanding Houstonians and Texans and Americans. Let me acknowledge our mayor, and I look forward to continuing to work with him as the Congress begins to make its way on a new infrastructure bill and to ensure that the city of Houston partnerships with us in the federal government and that our infrastructure needs are taken care of, Mayor. Thank you for your leadership. Give Mayor Turner another big hand for his vision for the city. And I am certainly right in step with the motto, Don, connecting people, uniting the world. That name United allows itself to be linked to many good themes and values. Thank you for your leadership in leading us in new horizons. Rodney, it's a pleasure for you to get me during those moments when we're delayed and showing me the backside of the airport, and I really do appreciate you taking the time. We take our moments where we can. Thank you so very much. And John, being a chief engineer is an important element because you're the builder, and we are grateful for your service. And Mario and I have continued to work together on any range of issues from safety to security to carts and quality of life issues. And thank you, Mario, for leading this airport. We've already said that this is a major, major step, 260,000 square feet, but when you play football like I do, to know that it's 6 football fields, that's a big deal. I can see everybody's asleep here because I just said I played football. But it is an amazing structure, and I do believe that synergism makes the operations go better. When you can interrelate to those who are directly relating to the equipment and who have the technology, and you are able to synergize together, problems get solved. What an outstanding idea to merge the presence of this wide body with the talented engineers and others and technicians that have to do this work. Now let me thank you for giving me a birthday present and Christmas on the same day. Thank you for giving this to me today. I think I can take it home with me. So thank you so very much. What a beautiful aircraft and how much comfortable the traveling public will be. Give the aircraft a big hand. It's a beautiful aircraft. Really is. And by the way, it just landed this morning, or just landed I think late last night from Seattle. So it has just come here, and that's also exciting. Mario whispered in my ear that the concrete is 17 inches thick to hold this wide body. What an amazing structure we have here. But let me just say that this is an opportunity and an example of the public sector and the private sector working together. As a senior member of the Homeland Security Committee, it's my task to ensure aviation safety and security. As a former chair of the Transportation Security Committee, this was clearly in my eyesight to ensure the safety and security of the traveling public. Part of that is high-quality aircraft at the top of the line. So as we expand this vision of Houston, as we begin to creep on to Chicago and tell United they need to move their whole operation back here to Houston, as we begin to do that, we keep showing ourselves to be Houston proud and to be able to welcome United with all of these wonderful facilities, having the space and the infrastructure on our airport grounds to make them comfortable and to make all of you comfortable. And that's really the key. So I want to close my remarks by saying I am a technology, advocate par excellence. I love it. I love it to give to people, to make people better, to improve their quality of life. And so number one, I'm very grateful that this will help improve the employees' quality of life, to do their job better. Then I like to see this grow. And I want to be able to say to all of my students in my public high school districts that I represent, that there's an opportunity of work right here in Houston, Texas, and that United will interface with my school districts to encourage them and you employees of opportunities in technology and sophisticated aviation travel right here in their hometown. That's a great thing, is it not? If there's some parents out there, that's a great thing to create the future of the 21st century. So thank you so very much for creating this space. I know that we have more space for you to utilize. Andy will take care of that so that we can grow the operations here, renew the operations here, expand the employee base here, because this is a great city to live in. And so on behalf of the United States Congress, if I might, before we cut the ribbon, I think I'm the last person here, I'm going to ask all of the folk to stand up. John, Don, Mario, Rodney, so you can have this presented to you. And I just want those men and women who have served in the United States military to just raise your hand, please. Raise your hand if you served in the United States. Don't be shy. Let us applaud you. Hold those hands up. I can't see you. Thank you. Many of those veterans come home to work on airlines to get their experience from the United States military, and so we are particularly grateful for their service, not only to the nation, but now to the private sector. So if the United folk can come up, and the mayor, just let me present this, if I can. John, you take this, and that is to acknowledge United Airlines Technical Operations Center, ribbon cutting and grand opening. And Mario said this is a brand new building. It's not refurbished. That's a big deal. So for that reason, I don't do this often, Brother Don. I noticed your accent, but you're here in America, so I know you're happy. But since this is a brand new building, let me take it out. And Rodney will take it. And I'm going to present this flag to you and acknowledge that we're so excited to give you your own flag. You put it somewhere in this building because this is a great American asset. United Airlines, on the occasion of the United Airlines Technical Operations Center ribbon cutting and grand opening, and the flag was flown over the United States Capitol. In honor of all these jobs and all the jobs to come. And you're going to work with my young people?
You bet we
train those young people?
And we do.
All right. He said he's going to train my high school students. God bless all of you. God bless the United States of America. Once again, don't leave.
Thank you, Congresswoman, for all those wonderful remarks and for all of your support from everybody. Thank you very much. We'll take a quick picture right here.